Hi, my name is Aaron Hartley, and I run a website called foreveranalog.net. It's a website that celebrates all things analog, including vinyl records. I've been collecting records for over 20 years now, and I thought I would start making some videos about some of my favorite finds over the years, and also maybe a few record haul videos, because, pretty much go record shopping every weekend. May as well post somewhere what I find. So today I wanted to tell a quick story about one of the craziest records that I found for free, and it's actually become one of the most valuable records in my collection. Now, in my Discogs account at least, it most recently sold for $1,000 in January, a near mint copy. My copy is not near mint, as you will see, but hey, I got it for free, and it would probably still sell for $300 or $400 if I wanted to sell it. But there's a few reasons why I just can't sell this record. So first, let me tell you a quick story. So I was looking on Facebook Market one night, and a gentleman had been posting kind of like 4 or 5 records at a time and just selling them off, right? And his prices were okay. And I contacted him and started buying some of the sets. It was a lot of classic rock type stuff. Things from my collection, and I got to know him and from buying these, and then I introduced him to some friends of mine, and my friends started buying records from him, so we kind of got to be good friends. And he told me his wife was a collector and was selling things off, and that they were going to move states, and they were going to eventually have a yard sale. So we just kept buying records, kept getting to know them, and really hoping that we would get a shot at the garage sale before anybody else did. And that's what happened. The garage sale was going to be on Saturday and Sunday. We were invited over Friday afternoon after they put everything out in the back sunroom. They just put stacks of records out, and we were able to go through them. I think they were all about $3 to $5 each. So it was a friend of mine and I that went, and I just stacked up as many records as I could find. I had just piles everywhere. My friend was like, "Which one of these piles is yours?" I was like, "All of them." And found a lot of great stuff. It varied in all kinds of genre. There was a Trisha Yearwood's self-titled album, the cover with the really big hair and the pink font from the 90s, which is really hard to find. That was there, a lot of soul music, and a lot of classic rock. And so I bought all my piles, I settled up, paid out, and then I noticed there was a stack of records next to the door exiting the sunroom, and I said, well, what are those records? And the lady said, "Oh, those are all scratched up records. They're not really in good shape. I don't know how to, I don't really know how to price them. So they're free. Just go through them. Anything you want, more than welcome to take it." I have a Record Doctor record cleaner, and I have picked up many records that I would think would sound awful or skip or something on those lines. Give it a good cleaning, and it actually plays fine. So I thought, well, why not? I'll go through it and, take a risk on, bringing some of these home. And I did actually find several in there, so I just set them aside, added them to my piles, and got home. Now, what I ended up finding out, probably a couple months later when I finally got through it all and started going through the ones I had gotten for free, is that I had picked up a copy of this album, which is Felt. That's the band name. It's a self-titled release. It's from 1972 on NASCO Records. Now, I told you my copy wasn't near mint, and you can see why. It's got this big, almost looks like a coffee ring right here. It's got some water damage here. On the back, a little bit more water damage. It does still have the original NASCO inner sleeve, which is kind of cool. And let's see. Here's a copy of the album. There's no way that you can see, the condition, on a YouTube video, but there's several marks on this. I would probably rate this good or good plus, but in all honesty, there's times on the album when it plays very close to VG. So I was surprised when I was looking at what I had found. I was not aware of this band. That when I looked it up on Discogs, that at that time, a copy had recently sold for $600. And again, in January of this year, 2021, somebody paid $1,000 for this in a near mint condition. Now, what's funny about that is it's actually been reissued. There's a reissue copy out there, but I guess this was just, something that they just really wanted the OG copy, so to speak. Now, a friend of mine my friend that was with me at the sale was like, "What made you even pick up this record?" And I'll explain it. First and foremost, I mean, look at this cover. There's like this guy in full body paint with this crazy looking eyes and this wig, I mean, it's like a gray haired wig. It's so strange. Just this whole thing is strange. It was strange enough to be free for me to pick it up, right? Then I flipped it over and I noticed that this was on NASCO. So I live in Nashville, and NASCO is one of the labels, like NASCO, Nashboro, Excello. These were all sort of record labels that are now defunct that released sort of all kinds of interesting music that's more than just country music. So Nashboro is a lot of gospel, soul music. Nashboro is the gospel soul music. Excello is a lot of blues and R&B, early R&B from the 50s. And NASCO was sort of a label that they created when they wanted to get into rock music in the 70s. So again, 1972. But what also really actually jumped out at me was it's right around here somewhere. Okay, it says it right here. Says felt, genius in the raw. Primitively beautiful, this is felt, past tense of feel. This next paragraph is what made me knew I had to take it home. The driving force behind this group, which comes from Northeast Alabama, is 17-year-old Mike Jackson. That's all I needed to know. I grew up in northern Alabama, and I'm pretty sure this band was from Huntsville, which is where I grew up. And that's all I needed to know to make me want to listen to this, is that they're from my hometown, which is not known for rock records that were released, and that it was on an interesting label that I already collect. Had to grab it, had to bring it home. What's interesting about this record is it's sort of, I guess it's sort of psych rock. It's very just like classic rock to me. The first song, "Look at the Sun," has a very like Beatles-esque intro. I think one of my favorite songs on here is "Weepin' Mama Blues," the third song on side one, and just really heavy organ, very a great blues song. Side two has a song called "The Change," which is 10 minutes and 10 seconds long, and I promise you that song kind of goes It's a rock song, but it just hits every possible genre within. It kind of gets jazzy. There's some like psychedelic sounds going. There's just your usual classic rock. They just bounce around throughout the whole song, which again makes it, very, very interesting. Now, the thing about this record is it's probably collectible because it was a huge flop at the time. 1972, nobody really probably even knew about this record. And one of the things I've read is that the lead singer, Mike Jackson, was busted for marijuana use. He was, I guess, holding marijuana, and he was arrested, and he had to go to jail. And so he was not actually available to tour and promote this album. Interestingly enough, I believe the band Felt got back together years later and made another album. I'm not familiar with that one, and I haven't picked it up. But again, somebody asked me if I would sell this record. I can't sell this record. The Alabama connection alone is something that makes me want to keep it. I just find whenever I find a valuable record that, there's a great story that goes along with it, I just really want to keep it for my collection. Even though this one has seen better days, it still plays fine. I listen to it often and really enjoy it. And I really enjoy telling people about it too. There's so many friends that I grew up with in Alabama that had no idea a band like this existed. And even when I posted about it, a lot of people on Instagram, a lot of people were like, "I've never heard that. I can't wait to check it out." This album is actually on streaming, so it's definitely on Apple Music, which I use most. It may be on Spotify, and I'm sure it's on YouTube. So if you're interested, you can definitely go, pull it up and stream and listen to it. And if you're willing to drop the amount of money, that these are being listed for. It would definitely be a great piece for your collection. But again, I think there's a reissue that's selling less than $100 out there, and that might fit as well. But yeah, I can't sell this one. It's too special to me. The Alabama Connection. It was actually recorded at Woodland Sound Studios, which is right up the road from where I work here in Nashville. I actually worked with the guy who produced this, who's since passed, but a guy named Bob Tubert would often come into our office, just walk in and say hello. So just another personal connection to this that I find way too interesting to let it go. Also, just the fact that I got it for free, even if I didn't like it musically, it's an interesting question. If I didn't like it musically and I got it for free and it was worth $1,000 in near mint condition, would I sell it? I probably would. But again, I enjoy this record a lot. With the Alabama Connection, definitely worth keeping. And and the fact that I got it for free is really great too. I've actually found some other great records at that sale as well, that I'll probably post videos about and tell you some more stories. Because again, it was just going through the piles. There were things in there that I couldn't believe. We're in our small little town outside of Nashville and in a sunroom at a garage sale. So hope you enjoyed hearing about this Felt record. Again, if you're interested in listening to it, pull it up on streaming services and check it out. If you'd like to know more about Forever Analog, you can go to foreveranalog.net. Again, it's a website that celebrates all things analog. We talk about turntables, preamps, cartridges. There's a lot of how-to articles or repair articles if needed. Lots of great information there. And we also have an Etsy store where we sell shirts that celebrate vintage audio. So one of the shirts simply says, "I will buy your records." And, I wear it around the neighborhood, and I've had more than one person ask me if I would buy their records, and I did. So it's sort of my walking Craigslist ad shirt. Again, you can find the links to the website and the Etsy store in the description below. If you like this video, I just started this channel. I'm looking forward to making more videos, talk about gear, talk about records, all those sorts of things. So please subscribe, and if you have any other interesting information about Felt, leave it in the comments below. Thanks.